morning everyone, it's Yvonne here to do What's Cracking reading. Firstly, as I always do, I want to say thank you for all your beautiful comments. Sometimes I have time to reply and read right through everything. Other times I sort of just skim over the top of them. But I can tell you now at least a dozen names of people who've been with me right from the get-go. So thank you to you for your support over the last 3 years, I think it is now. And my love to you for making or taking the effort to write something. Sometimes, you know, I read your comments and I think it's so beautiful that you take the time out to share your story with me. Now, I do delete the occasional comment, and not because I don't think people have the right to comment. I don't think that it's very ethical to run down someone else's readings or their work. And I don't believe that that's the right thing to do for any reader on YouTube. If you don't agree with the reading, move on. If you've had a really terrible time in your life, I feel really sad about that, but it's no good reason to run down a reader. So please, if you put rude comments up or negative comments, they will be deleted because I do read through them. On to some nicer things. I was considering giving away the fairs this year. It became so difficult because they started in March and everything was getting on top of me with moving and whatever else. And of course, I'm still sort of adapting to a very new way of life. So I did that, and then about a week or so ago, I had this change of heart where I thought, you know what, ultimately I really enjoy doing the fairs and they are an absolute pleasure for me, and I do them because I enjoy them. So I've decided to pick them back up again. I won't be doing Bathurst in March because it's just right here, right now, and I couldn't even consider that. But I'm going to be doing Shellharbour. For those of you in the Wollongong, Shellharbour area, I'm going to do the Shellharbour Fair on the 26th, 27th of March, and then the rest of the fairs to be announced. If you're unsure, I'm more than happy for you to send me an email. We will be, the Living Wellness Fairs will be in the Wollongong Shellharbour area now, as well as Bathurst and Goulburn. So if you're in any of those areas, I hope I haven't missed anything, please keep your eye out. I'll try and post them on my Facebook page. If you're not a friend of my Facebook page, I would advise you to go over and like it because I do try to keep in touch there. I also hope by next week to be doing some lives on Facebook. I'm also looking at platforming again with the lovely Linda, the psychic pin-up this year. So be watching out for all of those things for the locals. We did do a couple of things online for the people who lived overseas last year, and they were tremendously successful. So it's very possible we could pick them up again. It's sort of funny coming out of COVID and having a completely new way of life, and then I land in another place like some 5.5 hours from where I was living, and it's like, whoa. So I'm just catching my breath. All right, so the Three of Wands is coming straight out. We're using the Muse Tarot here, if you're wondering what deck it is. And the Three of Wands is a card that actually does sort of imply that you're looking towards the future, maybe trying to manifest, but more so waiting for your ships to come in. So it's very much this card of anticipation, knowing something is coming, waiting for something to come in, or waiting for something like your fruit, your seeds to bear fruit. Like it's a card of knowing something's coming your way and just waiting for it here. So I'm not quite sure what this is about, but we do have the Two of Wands behind that. And the Two of Wands is really, it's almost like a new path has been opened up. And like the paths are already there. We're already in our destiny. We're already heading in the direction we're meant to be in. But I always think it's sort of like that whole choose your own story. And you know, when we come to a point in the road where we have an opportunity to move in a new direction, it can seem like we're stuck on a crossroads, but really the Two of Wands implies that it's a brand new direction that you have been working towards. So something here is opening up for you, And I feel with that Three of Wands, you're already anticipating or feeling the change coming. I feel like for some of you, it might be that sort of energy of the calm before the storm. You know it's coming and you're waiting for it, and you may have put things in place to get it to move in that direction. For example, you may have finished a course, you may have just done some sort of training, and you know that you're heading in a new direction, but you're right on the verge of accepting that new direction. It could be somebody offering you something here too, because we have the Two of Cups coming through. So for some of you, this may be new love. It may be a new opportunity for partnership or in business. The Two of Cups can mean, working with somebody else for some sort of outcome, whether that is love or whether it is, a new business or just investing in something. But definitely with the Two of Cups, I see a new investment coming through. And then we have the Eight of Wands. All right, so you're getting communication from somebody here. I feel like here, there is something you're going after here. I want to get into this a little bit deeper. Something that you've really wanted. And I feel like you've waited a long time for something to give you the opportunity to move in a particular direction. And maybe you've planted the seeds for this. I don't think any of us really sees manifestation very well unless we look back and then we go, wow, I really wanted that and look what happened. So there's this feeling here that you've been waiting for something for a long while that's finally just sort of, I see like the mechanism of a clock sort of ticking into place here. So it's sort of like it's just clicking into place for you. I feel that you've wanted this opportunity, and I feel like you're finally getting communication, possibly from somebody in regards to the future. Could be a love offer, but more so it feels like somebody giving you the opportunity to do something that you've wanted to do for a long time. I have the Five of Swords coming out with the Temperance card, and I feel here that you're ready to leave the past behind. You've brought something back into sort of equilibrium. You've brought your life back into balance here, and perhaps that's been difficult at times, but you're now ready to accept whatever's coming your way. I do have the Hierophant and the Five of Cups and the Four of Pentacles, letting go and putting the world behind you, putting things behind you here. And then we have the Moon. Okay, so for some of you, you've got a King of Wands here, a Leo, Sag, or Aries. But see, the Leo, Sag, Aries, that King of Wands energy for me often talks about somebody who is in a position of power, a manager, a leader. Somebody has seen your potential here. Somebody has seen your potential. Now, for some of you, I do feel this is probably about love. But for most of you, I feel like I'm saying that somebody is finally seeing your worth and your value. And they're coming after you here. There's communication coming through. There's a new direction being opened up for you. And whatever you're doing here, you are totally leaving whatever was in the past behind. All right, let's have a look where we're going. For some of you, it may be new love. We do have the Justice card coming out. Very timely, I might say. That's the sort of energy I've got coming through. It's like you are able to leave things behind now. And perhaps you've been sort of waiting or wondering when that particular thing was going to happen for you. You know, and sometimes when we're not looking, love happens. We always say that. Sometimes when you've given up on something, it lands in your lap. And maybe that is just that giving up control, letting go and allowing the universe to do its work. When I see the Justice card, I feel like you've completed something. I look at those energies of those cards and I feel like you've completed something from your past. I feel that you are a much more assertive, outgoing, stronger feeling person than you were before, and it's now like the universe is saying it's ready, and I feel like something is about to sort of drop in your lap here. Does it mean great change? Absolutely, because whatever you're leaving behind here has left you sort of with a bitter taste in your mouth. So the universe is sort of saying to you, you know, let go, and whatever you've got coming in is going to be so much better than what you've left behind. Wow. I think, you know, sometimes, yeah, see dissatisfaction here in the Four of Cups. Sometimes we just, I was reading something the other day and I thought it's so true. you know, sometimes you struggle to get the break. You struggle to move forward, you know, and it feels like you're putting in a lot of energy and effort to go somewhere, and then all of a sudden something comes out of nowhere. You know, you could be searching for a job and you may have applied for hundreds of jobs. You know, you may have gone for hundreds of interviews and you get quite frantic. And then all of a sudden you bump into somebody one day who just stands in front of you and says, hey, we've got this job going at work and we can't fill the position. And you're like, what? After all the struggling and everything, it came to me that easily. So I feel like, and I sort of feel like sometimes that happens when, you know, when I've known people, personal friends, who've been trying to fall pregnant and have tried everything, including IVF, and the moment that they've given up and decided that they can't either afford to do it anymore or it's too stressful or demanding, they've fallen pregnant. So I feel sometimes it's about us wanting control. And once we realize that we can't control those things, that they're going to have to happen, we can definitely make effort. You know, there's nothing wrong with applying for jobs, but when you don't get them, you can't take that personally. It doesn't mean you weren't right person for the job. It just means somebody else outperformed you at interview or had more experience than you. It does not reflect on you in any way, shape or form. But when we've done it a few times, we start to think that way. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, here comes this offer. Now, the Four of Cups for me is very often the cup that says you're bored or dissatisfied and whatever's being offered to you here, you're not really sure that you want, because perhaps you've been offered it before and it's not really different or something you wanted. I'm feeling like here, don't turn your nose up at something. Don't turn your nose up at it. At least investigate it here, because I feel like somehow or another something may be coming towards you that you don't expect, and maybe it doesn't really take the shape of what you wanted. But I'm here to tell you, it's going, look at that Ace of Wands. It's going to be perfect for you. Whether this is a relationship, whether it's a new job, a contract, an opportunity, somebody is just stepping in here to offer you something really beautiful. The Ace of Wands talks about passion and drive and a brand new beginning. I have the Seven of Cups coming through here. So I feel like with that Four of Cups, there's a little bit of confusion. Maybe the job isn't quite what you were looking for. Maybe the relationship wasn't quite the person you were looking for. But like I always say, the universe seems to know better about us than what we do ourselves. And sometimes when we're on the verge of giving up or feeling something's not going to happen, that's just the time when something just bursts forth and gives us that opportunity. I feel like for some of you, you may have finally got like a contract, you know, music, arts, drama, something here, where maybe you've done so many auditions that you just felt you were never going to get the part, and then you get bang, the major part where somebody just walks in and says, I've got just the part for you. That actually happened to me when I was in high school, where the drama teacher came in, and my name was Rollings then. And I remember him saying his name was John King. And I remember him so well because I'd done a few productions and I'd always had to audition, always. And I remember him coming in and saying, hey, Rollings. And I was like, yes, sir. I've got just the part for you. And that was it. I went straight into the role. And I'll never forget that. It stood out for me for my whole life that somebody saw something in me that I never saw in myself as a child. So when I think about that, I think this is what's happening here. Somebody's recognizing something here. I do see a lot of deliberation and confusion on your part. Now I see the Empress. This always makes me feel like when I see it in a reading that maybe you're not realizing your own power here. You know, sometimes when somebody does that and offers us something pretty amazing, we'll start to question whether we've got what it takes, or, you know, like the Magician, do we have the tools we need? Are we going to be able to sort of prove ourselves or stand our worth here? And I feel like when the Empress comes in, it's absolutely whatever doubts you've got here are absolutely just unfounded. You are like sitting very perfectly for this role. All right, so have the Seven of Swords. So we have that little warning, don't sabotage yourself before you've had a really good think about it. We do have the Chariot coming through. Wow, with the Devil card. One more. And the Six of Swords, yeah, okay. So I feel like here, There is an incredible opportunity for you to move forward on something, whether that is in a relationship, whether it is a job. As I said, for people it will be different. There's a sense of doubting your own capacity here. Don't pull the plug before you've at least had a good look at this, because I feel like you may have a history of not trusting your own judgment or not trusting who you are, because there's an energy here of sabotaging yourself. Maybe you're wanting to say no before you've really thought about what you want. It is a fear. You have a fear somewhere within you that says, you're seeing something in me that I cannot see in myself, and that it needs to be changed around. I do see forward movement. I do see you leaving behind these energies here and taking this opportunity with both hands. There's definitely forward movement here. I get the feeling here that once you've made the decision and once you start to do this, you'll start to understand what the universe is saying to you here. Whether this is a relationship or another situation, it's worthwhile at least giving it a go. All right, so have you waiting for your ships to come in, and I have a brand new opportunity coming towards you. I do feel like it's partnership, so it could be a contracted agreement, it could be a relationship, but it's something that you're contracting to here. And there's communication coming in about this. I see the fears, but I feel like you're getting those fears into balance. For some unknown reason, it's been a difficult job with some of the cards you've got here. Maybe something you've struggled with for a long time, or something that you really want to have and you haven't been able to achieve it. And let me say to you, the universe is saying here, you just weren't ready, but you are now. So whatever this was, whatever it is for you, it's like you weren't ready before. I feel like, especially with this sort of self-sabotage sort of energy here, that had this have been offered to you while you were still healing, you would have said no without thinking about it. It would have put so much fear into your heart, and you would not have been able to sort of realize the potential you have. So I feel like it's right time, and it's coming at you. And I hope that reading's for me too. The right time and coming at you. Oh, and that card wanted to come out, didn't it? All right, have the card of lost lands here. And it talks about souls, memories, and gifts, and you've done this before. So that's really interesting energy. I love it. The world is far more ancient than our documented history suggests. As souls, many of us have experienced ancient eras on this planet that were much more advanced than ours is today. As we begin to remember these times, the rememberings and gifts come flooding back. At this stage in Earth's timeline, we need the wisdom of the ancients to survive as a species. You're being called to connect with the lost wisdom of your own soul. Isn't that a beautiful card to get for this reading? If you feel guided to make a change in your life, to step into a new career path, birth a creation, or bring an idea to life, but feel unprepared, this card is calling you to consider that you have done this before. Perhaps your soul has wisdom beyond what your lifespan can imagine. Perhaps the intuitive hits and ideas you're receiving are divinely guided. Perhaps you've been preparing for this time. Some think that lost lands exist in the past. Others believe they exist today in a different dimension. I believe these ancient lands also exist in the souls of those who've experienced them. If this card comes to you, perhaps the wisdom of lost lands such as Lemuria, Atlantis, and Avalon exist within you. And through surrendering to the intelligence of your soul, you can unlock the seeds of these ancient lands so we can all learn from our mistakes and usher in a new age. So I'm strongly believing whatever it is here that you are meant to be doing, that you're going to have an opportunity to do, you've just forgotten who you are. All right, much love.